We are not here to register in the minds. We are here to touch the hearts of people.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, welcome to another great episode of the Paul Rapetsoa Legacy Month Extravaganza. Today we have the one, the only. He's the circuit manager of the Mankweng area and he's been doing amazing. He's also been a colleague of Bra Paul as they went to different schools around the province of Limpopo, motivating young learners to do better within their studies. Let's go straight into it. Mr. Magagane, how are you, sir?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you, Darren?
I'm lovely, sir. We actually came to your background. We're at a school today, sir.
Yeah, no, school is where.
Please tell all of our viewers where we are today so they also understand and they can come and support the school like Bra Paul did, sir.
Okay, yeah, we are at Ramashowote High School. This is the school which was also supported by Bra Paul when we were still motivating. The trophy that you see here was obtained by the school in 2012 for the most improved school, through the efforts of Bra Paul.
Oh, that is lovely. Sir, let's actually go back to all of it. When was the very first time you heard the name Mahuma Paul Rapetsoa?
I was still very young when I heard the name. And I also had an opportunity to go and watch. I was still at Whitty High School when there was a play called Goal Circumstances that came to our school. So I had an opportunity to go and see it. And then that's when I started to know that there is Mr. Paul Rapetsoa that is writing dramas. But at the same time, I also had a lot of him on radio, especially during his gospel show of Fola. So I used to love him so much during that time.
Indeed, I was hoping you'd give me the signature laughter as well when you said Fola. Amazing. And take me back to the first time you actually met Bra Paul. Yes. I know he's a very charismatic individual. Take me back to the first time you actually met him.
Okay, I met Bra Paul in May of 2010. It was through a friend of mine who was a circuit manager in circuit in Butlogwa. She knew him well before. And remember, Bra Paul also comes from Butlogwa.
Indeed.
So they said Mr. Bra Paul was going from school to school in Butlogwa, in Xhosa, trying to motivate schools. So because the circuit manager of Butlogwa by that time, Mrs. Fosa Mamavolo, comes from here. She comes from Mankweng. So she said, no, you can't be motivating the schools of your home place only. You must also go to Mankweng to go and motivate. And I'm going to hook you up with somebody who's going to make sure that you reach all the schools in Mankweng.
Indeed.
And indeed, Mrs. Fosa called me and said, no, I'm going to hook you up with Bra Paul. He has got this drama called Get Down. I think it's a wonderful drama to motivate learners in schools to do well. So I said, no, give him my numbers. And then, indeed, he called me. He said, hello, Mr. Magagane. And I answered. And then thereafter, he said, I want to see you. And then we agreed. And when he came, he said to me that he wants to see one of my schools. I said, no, I don't have a school. I have schools. I have. I'm having 12 high schools that time. And when you say you want to see my schools, my school, it's not going to be easy for me to choose one school over the other because I have 12. I have 12 schools. So all of the learners from 12 of my schools must come and see your show.
Indeed.
It's then that we then organized with the University of Limpopo to give us the hall. And after the University of Limpopo agreed that we will use the hall, then I then told Bra Paul that the University of Limpopo is ready for us. All the learners in Mankweng Circuit are going to come. I was saving 1,500 learners by that time. This year I'm going 1,800.
Wow.
The population is growing.
Yes.
So all the 1,500 learners came to University of Limpopo Hall. And on that day, Matome, his son, also came. And he said to me, Mr. Magagane, it is for the first time that Get Down is being watched by so many people in a hall, 1,500. So it was to them was a record audience.
Indeed.
Yeah, and then from there, it was because I have other circuits, sister circuits around me. Mine is Mankweng Circuit, but there are 4 other circuits. So the circuit managers of the other circuits were also approached. And then after approaching them, they said, no, we're also interested. Then we started a road show now. It was this circuit after the other, and it was something that was happening almost every year. We were doing it, I think some of the colleagues that are here, they know me, that they used to come to the University of Limpopo. Sometimes when the University of Limpopo was not available, we would use Monkweng Community Hall. Yeah. So that is how I got to know him. So, and then immediately after the shows, then we would then start to talk and give each other feedback on how was the show and so on. And then where do I think he needs to change? Because when Get Down was written, it was written when we were still using the levels. We were not using levels. In the Department of Education now, we have changed subjects, the subject names, and we have also changed the categorization of passing, how learners pass. For instance, we used to have biology. So we no longer have biology. Now we have
life science, indeed.
And then we used to have A, B, C, or D. Now we no longer have A, B, C, or D. A is level 7.
Indeed.
B is level 6, and so on. So I would find that inside Get Down, they were still using the old language. So then I said, no, now we're going to start.
We need to evolve. We need to evolve,
so,
indeed.
So he started using as a sort of a consultant to say, what about this and this and this? So I was trying to assist him a lot in the using of the new technology. And of course, the thing that I thought could also be added, because of my proximity to schools, I used to know what is happening in schools at that particular time. So I would give feedback into what is it that I think the principal could do, because I get the learners inside Get Down, the learners, the principals, the teachers. This is, I think, what teachers could start saying as a teacher.
So it's relevant.
Yeah, the principal could start saying this. Learners should also, when the learners speak, we must also start doing this. I remember there was one that I used to like, the short one. I still remember her. I can see her, but I cannot say anything more about it.
That's thoroughly understood, sir. I would like to ask you this, like you are mentioning right now, that your experiences with Brapol are vast and you've had many encounters with Brapol. Yes. But looking at Brapol, what is your favorite memory? I want to ask you these two, between your favorite memory and your favorite funny memory, because I know, like I said, he was a very charismatic individual. So what was your favorite memory with Brapol before we jump to the funny memory?
Okay. Yeah, my favorite memory was when, after motivating the learners, he would say, it is not enough just to talk to the learners without talking to the teachers. Then we graduated. He started now motivating teachers.
Indeed.
So I was now taking him from school to school, not only to motivate learners, but to also motivate the teachers. And he had a way of trying to motivate teachers in such a way that he would put them in his hands. Yeah, he would take them on a roller coaster, and then teachers were impressed. So every time when I go to schools, then they will say, "Hey, Brapol, what's happening? Where is Brapol coming back?" Because he had a way of talking to the teachers. This thing of saying, teacher are boring.
Yes.
He would always try to discourage teachers from being boring teachers.
That definitely sounds like Brapol.
Yeah.
Let's jump on to the funny memory you shared with Brapol. What would your funny memory be with Brapol?
Well, the funniest memory is that, and he always said it many times, this thing of Sidika. Brapol comes from Butlokwa. He says people of Butlokwa like to describe people by the series of scandals.
Indeed.
Yeah. When you say, do you know Magagane? Oh, Magagane, all Talam Sadi. Yeah, so man, you shall just call. So man, a scandal after scandal. So every time when he wants to describe somebody, he says they must find a scandal about you, and that's how they would describe you.
Indeed.
So that's the funniest thing about him.
But
the other funny thing about him is that I would maybe invite him to some place, and then I will introduce him to people. But after every 10 minutes, he will, hey,
Yes, that's very true.
Bra Paul, I'm going to take the whole day. But that is how he would always forget the names of people.
That's very true, sir. I would like to move on to this specific question, sir. When you are looking at Mahuma Group, Get Down Productions, Matome Rapetsoa Foundation, and all the divisions under Mahuma Group, do you think Mahuma Group, under the leadership, obviously, of Matome Rapetsoa, is doing enough to keep the legacy of Bra Paul alive?
Yeah. I think, I think I told Bra Paul, because your son is even doing more than now. I never thought that he would take this thing of drama and you see he has commercialized it. He has made it something that I never thought. Bra Paul even himself confessed, so but Matumi saw it otherwise. He has taken this to a higher level.
That's true.
The only thing, the question that you were asking me about the legacy, remember Bra Paul is known for drama. And his drama was always shown in schools. Yeah, but now I can see that it is no longer about schools. It is, and I don't know whether you call it industrial drama or what.
Industrial theater.
Industrial theater, where I see you going from province to province trying to promote maybe new products in the market and so on. But schools are no longer you are no longer so visible in schools anymore, like how this thing started. But I am not complaining. I'm just saying I'm happy about this group, the Mahuma Group, that is now diversified and growing. I know that maybe the school thing may suffer a lot, but I don't see you in schools
as much as you'd like.
As much as I would like.
Indeed, indeed. No, that thoroughly makes sense, sir. And I'll speak to Mr. Matome Rapetsoa. I have his number. Before I ask you this last question, I want us to speak about something. The last time you invited myself, Mr. Matome Rapetsoa, and Brasputla Siborudi, known to many people as Kenneth Mashaba, from Generations to your awards. Why do you always find it important to have a Mahuma Group or Get Down Productions in the education space as well?
I cannot imagine any award ceremony without me inviting Mahuma Group, because it is, even though Bra Paul was let me say, business person, doing business in my schools, promoting drama, or even motivating learners, or even to an extent of motivating the teachers. He ended up being part of Mangwen Second. So he ended up being part of Mangwen Second to an extent that you cannot imagine him, us doing anything without, you know that every time when I have something I must send you, or hey,
indeed,
don't see this on the social media because you are part of, and when you have things, you say Magagane.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Without fail.
Yeah, that's why when he passed on, during that time, in December, when he was, I remember he was born on the 3rd of January, 2021. When I heard that he has passed on, I knew that I was supposed to be part of, I did not want to be on the program. I just wanted to be part of
the ceremony
of sending him. But I knew that I could not. So I wrote. I wrote a very long piece about him, just to tell people that this person was not only the Mahuma Paul Rapetsoa that you see in drama, he was also part of us as Mangwen Second. Even not only as Mangwen Second, he was part of the province. He also was going into Gauteng. In Gauteng schools, he also. So I remember me and him sitting down, counting the number of schools that he has visited. We found that he has visited more than 200 schools since he started with this thing of motivation. So I really appreciate everything that Rapetsoa has done for our circuit, for our district, for our province, and for our country.
That's very true, sir. I would like you to look at our audience over there in that camera over there. Can you please say, if Bra Paul was here, what words would you like to say to Bra Paul looking at that camera over there?
Bra Paul would use Corinthians 33. Corinthians 15, chapter 33. Says, don't be fooled. Bad company corrupts good character.
Indeed.
Yeah, so yeah, he used to tell learners, or in other words, what he was trying to say to the learners was that they must be careful. They say bad friends, the choices you make makes you.
Indeed.
So if you choose a bad friend, you must know that you are likely to follow in that friend's footsteps. The friend you make can either break or make you.
Indeed.
That's what Bro Paul used to say. So to these learners that are here today, they're future accountants, economists.
Indeed.
So I'm happy that they're here with me. I invited them that they are going to be part of me. And I know that they've learned today. Some of them, I know that they're already saying, I want to work like that, I want to work like that. Like they're doing.
That's true, sir.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, I'd like to give you this T-shirt. This is a Paul Rapetsoa Legacy Extravaganza T-shirt. That's for you to wear and continue shining Bra Paul's light through what you do as education, sir.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Magagane. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, thank you for tuning in to yet another great episode. Thank you to Mr. Magagane for his time, as he's really, really busy and squeezed us into his schedule. Thank you for tuning in countless days, supporting us every 7 o'clock. Do not forget to follow Mahuma Group on Facebook, Mahuma Group Official on Instagram, and Mahuma Group on YouTube. I'm your host, Darren Rufan Rensberg, and like I always say, stay shining and stay winning. And like Bra Paul always says, thank you and I'm sorry.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters from South Africa and across the world, welcome to another great episode of the Paul Rapetsoa Legacy Extravaganza Month. Today on the show, we have a very, very interesting person. He goes by the name of Mr. Matome Moremi, which is the head of communications for the Department of Education. Mr. Matome Moremi, how are you today, sir?
It's a beautiful Monday. Good morning, Dad.
Lovely. It's very nice to have you here, sir, and thank you for making the time to come out. But let's get right into it. Please tell me, when was the first time you heard the name? I love asking this question because it gives us insight on how Mr. Paul Rapetsoa has affected different generations in different ways. But when was the first time you heard of the name Mahuma Paul Rapetsoa?
It must have been when I was still at primary, when we listened to our radios. Remember, we only had radios.
Indeed.
When we were growing. The TV is just an in thing now.
Yes.
So you would look forward for the radio drama in the evening, and you would wait for that sound. Hey, yeah.
Yes.
That would be Paul Mahuma Rapetsoa. And there's something that I also like the fact that he comes from, his roots are somewhere from where I come from. I think the village is either Poland or Breda, and I'm from Staleyop side. So he would say something that I know, those are the Breda, and then there will be Swela Batu Poland and Breda. So then we connected, and I always wanted to meet him. And later on, because our high school had a boarding school. Now, when they started the movement, I think Get Down, they moved around the schools, particularly in the evening, to come and do the show. But we were left very bitter because at the time when they came there,
yes,
we were still very young at primary, so we couldn't go to the show because it was in the evening. So those that were ahead of us were already in the high school would go, but they will come and explain to us what really happened. The Uncle Wash and everybody.
Yes.
We never really got to meet them, but they came. Nagongojong was one of the blessed schools where I don't know what was really happening, why they chose Nagongojong, because the two popular schools around our area was Nagongojong and Malebu in the Riboni area. It's a township. But he came there, And with the team, with Matome, I think he was still very young at that time. But Zondi, Ndlovu, and others were part of the team.
Indeed.
And from there, it created our interest to continue listening to the radio shows. And then when, fast forward, I met him later in person. I think it was in 2004-05 in Pretoria.
In Pretoria.
In Pretoria.
Okay, lovely. I love how we are going with the journey. But tell me, how was his personality when you first met him?
You must know that for me it was a nostalgic moment because I've always wanted to meet him.
Indeed.
And I wanted to make sure whether the signature laugh was something recorded somewhere, because we always heard it on radio.
Indeed.
Whether it was recorded or if something that he can do, and he never made mistake. So you will laugh that way, and that is what I said that this is him. I had to pinch myself too much and again, and I must say that the interesting part that for the first time that I met him, it was at your house where you used to stay in Pretoria with your mom. May her soul rest in peace.
Indeed.
My dear sister, Dingy van Rensburg.
Yes.
Others know her as Cynthia.
Indeed.
Yes.
No, that's lovely. Now tell me, at that house, what was your meeting about? Just for our audience interest sake, what was that meeting about?
Paul was a friend to Sister Dingy. Every time when we was in Gauteng, he would pass by Pretoria, particularly I think the street name was Force and what?
Force and Spay.
Force and Spay,
Afrimosa Flats.
Yeah, Afrimosa Flats. So I was working with Dinky, your mom, at the Road Accident Fund. I think I joined the RAF in 2003. And she's one of the first people to welcome us because we went there in a group of young men and women on a learnership program. But she never looked down upon us. She took us in and said, "You are from Limpopo?" And then I said, "Yes." Where? Then I explained. Then he said, No. Come, remember they were already working there, and now we're just young boys and girls who were earning, I think, 990. So one day when you don't have food, you'll go to Dingy, then Paul is here, and then we'll just talk about life in general. But eventually, because I also developed interest, I think I wanted to be an actor when I was growing up. Then when we said to Norman, when I think I started a sports activity informed by wellness programs at the department with Melinda Peter. Then we said there is an issue of HIV and AIDS that people are not talking about.
That's true.
The issues around it, how we infect each other, how we are not protecting ourselves. Then we said, how do we deal with, because we're also deep into sports, soccer and netball at the Road Accident Fund. But we said, how do we spread the message in a manner that people will never forget? And then that's where we concocted and hashed a plan for the Mahuma production to come at that time, to come and one day, I think it was 8th day in 2005 or 6, I can't remember clearly, that they should come and do their live production there in our head office, in Pretoria Main Lane.
At the time.
Indeed. And at that time, that is when I first met now Matome, the man.
Indeed.
He was also an actor on the day. A very aggressive man who was very angry that the wife could have infected her with HIV, only to learn later that no, the child was infected by the nanny who was breastfeeding.
Oh my God, yes.
Yes, that's a story that I will never forget. The two parents were tested. Eventually, it was found out that they were all negative, and they had to ask the helper to be tested, and it came out positive, and they had to ask her what really happened. And she said, your child is crying a lot. Then I had to breastfeed him to keep quiet. So yeah, I think I would have done that mistake, and that is when we got to know that they can actually infect other people through breastfeeding. This was a lesson learned for many of us, to be careful with our helpers, to teach them these things, because they do not know. But of course, to go for health checks, all of us from time to time. that drama, I think I might be corrected. I think it is What If, but
it's actually Never Until.
Never Until. Oh,
Indeed.
yes, that
Indeed.
one. Yes,
Yes.
that drama left a very powerful message at the Road Accident Fund. The workforce to date is one of the most powerful workforces. They participate everywhere. Even if you were to go to Comrades Marathon, you'll find Team RAF there because of what we started at that time.
Indeed, that's true. Like you said, my mother was actually a netball player. They have a
Yes.
picture of her, Precious Maluleke,
Yes,
etc.
yes, very powerful.
Indeed, but let's go back to Bra Paul and tell me, Bra Paul, like we mentioned at the beginning, is a very charismatic character. What is your favorite comedic memory, rather, with Bra Paul?
Hey, there's so many. I think I came here when I was working for Department of Transport and Community Safety to come and watch you as they rehearse, because we had contracted them to spread the road safety message, to do something for us for road safety messages. But what came to fall to me, which was very important, is how he related with his team. The actors, all of them, Panya, all this, as he was. He looked old. I don't know if he's old, but he looked
Indeed,
old.
indeed.
Brazondi and others, they all he commanded a respect, and he would always they listened to him, and you can hear that they do not fear him, but they respect him. I would not say he had too much jokes that I would immediately remember, but what I know that when I asked him, because I had seen earlier during Mapungube show, I think at Jack Borders,
Indeed.
The team had to perform there. There was one man who I think is blind, with a soothing voice that I don't think he was there that day.
Indeed.
So I requested that he come and sing, but I didn't know him that well. I said, no, you didn't know it's me. I'm going to sing that song. So yeah.
I trust Bra Paul.
Yeah.
You're actually talking about gospel artist Seponga Dimeng at the time.
That man.
Indeed, indeed.
That man, yes.
Now, looking at over your experiences with Bra Paul over the years that have come by, because we're talking about 2005, that was almost 20 years ago. What do you think there's a little bit of Bra Paul within you as Mr. Matome Moremi Tauyatswala?
Let me tell you something. I learned that Bra Paul was a family man. Because in the process I got introduced to Matome. Later on I got introduced to Hali. I think it's Hali. Yes.
Sehala, yes.
We call him Hali in the streets.
Indeed.
The humility, the respect that they have, we can see that they take it from their father. But I also got to be with them and him. You can see that every father would want to have a relationship with the boys, the way he used to. And I must say something that that's nice. Is it Conquest or Chess? The maroon one.
The RBY. The chess.
RBY.
Indeed.
Yes.
With the rim. Very beautiful.
That beautiful one. I think it was known everywhere.
Yes.
That's the one that made me to know the sister.
Masiti.
Yes, Masiti. It was involved in an accident somewhere on is it Nelson Mandela or New Era? I can't remember, coming here next to the police station. The car that was involved with it was my car, but it was not driven by me, but somebody else. She was in the wrong, but we decided to deal with our issues amicably.
Indeed.
And one thing that she did after everything was fixed, she called me and said thank you. She said to me, thank you very much for attending to that issue the way you did. We did not know each other that well, and she did not know who I was. Then when I explained who I am, she became, I think she wanted to cry. So the family man that he was, that he taught his kids to be humble and to be able to say thank you. That's what really motivated me. Many people would know that with the politician that I am, I can be busy in politics, I can be busy at work. But there's one thing that I never miss, to be a family man. When I'm done with the busy thing, I go home.
Indeed.
I go home to my kids, 2 boys and my wife. Now there are 3.
Yes. Congratulations
I
on
think
the
when I was still with you, the tiny as I was, I had nothing. But now there are 3 boys.
No, congratulations, sir.
Yes.
I have to agree with you with the thank you aspect that you mentioned. Masethu called and said thank you because Bra Paul believed in rather thank you and I'm sorry. So if you're able to go through life knowing and being very positively understanding how far those 2 words can take you, thank you and I'm sorry, you'd be sorted throughout. Mr. Tauyatswala, this is just the t-shirt from Mahuma Group, Get Down Productions and the Paul Rapetsoa Legacy. We thank you for your time. That is just to say thank you very, very much. You can actually take it out and look at it. Do not be shy. This is just to say thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to coming and seeing us.
Feel extra large.
Which one must I get you? I can't. We'll change.
Yes.
But if you could look into our audience over there and just if you had like a last word to say to Bra Paul, what would those words be?
Bra Paul, thank you for being the father that you were to us. By you being a father to Matome eventually became my friend. We actually called each other was Taka because of my name that seems to be Butlokwa name. Thank you so much for changing the lives of our people in our province and elsewhere in the country. The people who are at RAF, they don't know today that some of the activities that they have there that are about wellness is about what Mahuma did to them. And thank you very much for being part of our lives. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moremi Tauyatswala. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I'm your host, Darren Roo van Rensburg. Thanks for joining in to this amazing episode where we learned more about how Bra Paul impacted different corporate aspects as well and made us who we are. We continue seeing Bra Paul's one rose turning into many roses as the legacy of Mahuma Paul Rapetsoa lives on forever. Like I said, I'm your host, Darren Roo van Rensburg, and like I always say, stay shining and stay winning. And like how Bra Paul always says, thank you and I'm sorry.